Good evening, folks, and welcome to this evening's hobby stream. We'll be joined by Ricky a little later on. He's just got a bit of family business to attend to, down to inconvenient families and their birthdays to be doing before we get started. So this evening I am going to be painting a knight who I have made the slight mistake of double spraying. So in an effort to shortcut the painting, we gave it a first base coat of Clay Belcher, and then we more targeted spray of angel green from Army Painter across the top. It's not quite worked as well as I'd hoped, but hopefully we should be able to pick up from where we're at. So on to the painting. As I'm here on my Todd this evening, until Ricky makes it along, then do feel free to pipe up with any questions you've got in the chat. I will do my best to catch those as soon as they come up. Otherwise, I will do my best to keep running commentary going. Where do we start? I think let's get some of the green blocked in first. So, spot the angel green. We did pre-shake this beforehand because, oh my god, the Army Painter paints sometimes do need a bit of a shake, but that's come out quite nicely. And let's get going. So we're going to go into the edges of the army panels first. I was visiting with my parents not so long ago, and we sat my son down and watched some Bob Ross videos with him. So now whenever I'm describing what I'm doing on one of these streams, I suddenly feel like talking about happy little trees. It's probably a little too random, but happy little chaos knights or happy little Imperial knights. Not quite the same. So I'm going to bring this armour panel up to regulation dark green that I've used for the rest of the knightly house, and then we'll come back and start putting some gold on later in the stream. For those of you that are watching, hello, and tell me what you are painting, why don't you? Because that will give me something more to talk about than the fact I'm going to be painting an awful lot of the colour green. I probably should be using a larger brush for this, but unfortunately I left some of my brushes in the shop while I was painting something else the other day, and forgot to bring them home with me, so I'm stuck with this slightly worn regiment brush as my base coat brush this evening, and just have to make do with that. Let's get into all the areas, and we'll come back with a character brush and do some of the gold in a bit. First up, let's undo the double spraying. This is going to be knight number 2, and they'll go along with the 4 armatures I've already done to make myself a respectable little force of knights. And if I ever manage to get a big game in, they can act as bodyguards to the Warlord Titan, so it'll be a nicely unified little household running about the table. Yeah, so I got this guy set up for sort of close-in defence, and generally burning anything that tries to sneak up on the Warlord. The other knight is set up in a sort of reasonably close in, actually. He's chainsword and melter cannoned, but designed to take out any armoured targets closing in, and then the armatures are split, so one providing long range fire support and one group providing even more close combat chop. Because the few times I have played games with the Warlord Titan, I found that once people started to get their own dreadnoughts and knights in close and inside the void shields, that's really when I started to lose chunks of wounds off him. So hopefully these guys will take the edge on that. So lesson number 1 is don't bother double spraying. I would have been just as well as just spraying it all one colour and coming into it, but you live and learn. On the plus side, I have painted a few of these things now, so I've got an idea where I want all the colours to go. So it's just a case of filling in the gaps, as it were, and getting the scheme going. don't know why I'm painting this shield here green, because that's probably going to end up being a black and white heraldry piece. But while we've got the green in hand, we'll see. It's the other thing I need to think about at some point is I've painted black and white cross shields on most of them now, but I sort of want a bit more detail onto them, and my freehand is terrible, so I'm reliant on finding water slide transfers that do the good job, and I've yet to find a good water slide transfer of a Sphinx, because for reasons of literature I've decided that these are a knightly house based off the Sphinxian Forge World, which accompanies the same system that my guard regiment is based out of, because I'm one of those sort of fluff completionists that likes to tie all my army backstories together. So, but yeah, it's actually coming up quite well already, even on the first pass, so you know, I might change my tune about double undercoating by the end of the night. We shall see. The other question is, did I bring myself enough Nuln Oil? Because when we get to the silver, we're going to need a bunch of that. Also remembering to try and keep the bits I'm painting turned towards the camera for you guys, because otherwise you're not going to see very much at all. I've just had a message from Ricky saying he'll be jumping on as soon as he gets back, which I'm taking to mean he's not quite back yet, but that's okay. He's I think he's actually going to be starting work on building his Chaos Knight this evening, because he's been umming and ahhing about getting one of those for a little while. So it'll be interesting to see how he builds that one up and what options he sticks on it. On a side note, I finally got the Leviathan that I was painting on this stream up and finished, and we've got it on display in the shop at the moment. It's had to go on top of one of the IKEA glass cabinets because, as with most of my big things, they won't actually fit inside the cabinet, so it's sat there near the bottom of the stairs in the fridge if anyone wants to take a look next time they're in the shop. It's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Yet to have a game with it, but we'll get there eventually. Now there's what I thought was going to happen. The lead butcher spray is quite shiny, and that's going to take more than one coat to get the green over, I think, so we'll see how it settles. But I remember last time with the actual Warlord, when I painted over the lead butcher spray, I found the same thing, but I was hoping in smaller amounts that it wouldn't quite come to it. Yeah, never mind. These bulk areas done green, and then we'll come back into some more of the details on. It's always a slightly surreal thing looking over and catching sight of your stream on your phone while you're doing this, because obviously the stream itself is a couple of seconds lag to the actual recording of what I'm doing, and yeah, it's just slightly weird, sort of deja vu-y feeling as you sort of look over and go, hang on, I just did that. My hand's not moving at quite the same time. But we should get there. Yeah, that's going to need another coat. Bring that in so you can have a quick look. Zipping through the top areas now. But soon you're ready for some more colours. He says hopefully. I'm just telling myself that because I don't want to paint green all night. So have we got anyone watching, we wonders? No one in as it. Never mind. I'll take a quick pause there to wash my brush and answer a quick message. So staff messaging me from work, which is all sorts of inconsiderate when I'm on stream, but since it's work I probably should answer them. Who said minions could have time off, eh? Now the question is, how much of that does that cover? So you're not going to see past that raised lips, so we can worry less about what's under there, even though I'll probably end up painting it anyway. That's going to go silver in the little vent there. Well, right, so I probably should be doing these inside areas like the grills first, but since I know it's going to need another coat anyway, it doesn't have to put a coat of the green on and then come back and touch up anything I go over when we put all the lead battery and inner details in. go. Let's just jump in there. Look. Get the top flank and front done, and then come and have a look at the back afterwards, because that's where it gets a bit more silver anyway, so I don't want to go over too much. I've actually, for me, had a pleasantly geeky day, because despite sort of what people think, sometimes when we're working in the shop we don't actually play games. In fact, most of the time when we work in the shop we don't actually play games or anything like that. But I've been on a day off today and getting some prep ready for the upcoming Pathfinder role-playing game that we're going to be running on stream this Friday. And it feels like an absolute age since I did proper prep for a role-playing game. So I've been head buried in role-playing books. Oops, that should have been a gold area, so I'll go back over that. Yeah, head buried in role-playing books all day, finding all the stuff that I'm going to need to run this adventure on Friday, and making sure I've got all of the things to hand so that my players don't have to sit there and watch me flick through books to find all the answers. And hopefully I've got pretty much everything that they should be needing for the first few sessions. So we'll give it a go. It's only the second game I've ever run on Discord. We're not going to use Roll20 because it's another thing that I haven't got enough time to learn. And I think it'll stream better if you can see our faces, having seen how Darker Days Radio does his podcast normally. We like that, and so you'll be looking at our ugly mugs and theatre of the minding it mostly, although I may chuck up a couple of images if I manage to set those up just for the players and viewers' edification. There we go. It's the green all coated. Obviously it's going to need a second coat, but took less time than I thought it was going to, which is a bonus. So let's have a look around the back then. Let's go with that silver on it. Though, that is chest armour. Yeah, get some of that. I must remember when Ricky gets on as well to set the screen to give him equal focus, because at the moment I'm hogging the camera and I can't be doing that when he's on. Not fair. For those of you that are watching this in the aftermath and or watching it via our YouTube and are wondering why I sound so whispery, it's because I'm directly underneath my kids' bedrooms and they've not long gone to bed, so I'm just trying to keep it a bit quiet so as not to wake them up. But yeah, I think I'm managing a relatively good volume level for you guys, and certainly we haven't seen any problems on previous streams with how loud I'm talking. I think I get a bit quiet as well when I'm talking on my own, because it's a slightly weirder thing to do to monologue to yourself than it is to have conversations with one of your mates while you're painting. Speaking of painting as well, if you're enjoying this sort of thing but also want to talk to other people rather than just watching us talk, Swansea Neath Wargames group have their own talk and paint sessions on, I think, a Friday, and Swansea Wargames and Board Games Club tend to do it on a Wednesday evening. So two options to connect with other local gamers and chat about games and stuff. Here we go, right. Side armour next. There's me saying I've painted loads of these and can remember exactly where I was painting. Completely forgot about the side shoulder armour. And then there's going to be some of that waist is going to want done as well, I think. Alright then, more green. That's all of the silver now, so that's going to be proper ugly until it's had a good 2 or 3 coats. First coat will just be almost undercoating back over the silver. Get in those little gaps. And then we'll use the gold to tidy it all up after. I tend not to worry too much about brush strokes on the first coat, because usually second coat will tidy them up. Excuse me. Hiccuping away there. Same on the other side. So that's all silver. That's all silver. Back under edges there. Fighting the edge to pull the model into my chest, because that's where I usually end up painting them a little higher up. So, but after a few weeks of this, I've slowly got used to trying to keep it a bit lower to the table, and might mug out of shot while we paint away. This bit that no one will ever see, but it'll bother me if it's not done. And this section, give them a green butt. Strictly, I can't remember whether I did my other one exactly the same here. I think I did, but if not, I can always resilver it at a later date. Does that bit go green as well? Yeah. On it goes. Here's where I wish I'd left the top and bottom as two separate halves before I painted this bit. But you live and learn. Actually, I say that, I never do. I'm always too excited to stick the model together to actually remember to build it in separate bits. There we go, so that's the bulk of the armour plating first coated. Let's do the same with the soles now. Get all those up to the right colour. Well, we're half an hour in and Ricky's not back yet, so apologies if you were watching just for Ricky tonight. I'm sure it'll be along shortly. If not, I'm having fun painting, so such is life. Right, let's start at the start again. So feet there are silver. Rookie error, just dipped back into the green there rather than back into the lead belcher. But remembered it before it hit the model, so we didn't cross the streams. These will come up nicely with a little bit of Nuln oil afterwards. Just get the rest of the green dusting off. Some people say, Simon, why didn't you masking tape? And I say, because I am lazy. And it honestly didn't occur to me until after I pressed the spray can. There we go. That's come on quite silver, which is nice. Backs the feet good, just on top of this one. Fronts of your feet. Get in there, get all the servos. Oops, missed the other foot. Here we go. Top of this piston, and this knee joint, around there. Okay, so it's going to be the same over there as well. These pistons need a good going. Here we go. Top of his leg just by here. Luckily I did leave the arms articulated, so that makes getting into here quite a bit easier to get all these bits. All this shoulder work. The other one's come out much better. Do the weapons last, because that way we can move them around until the last possible minute. I won't glue them in place until I'm done with all the painting, because it's just nice to be able to get into some of these bits. There we go. Just in there. That looks like it didn't actually pick up any paint at all, so more work around there. Because I think I must not have got up there with the undercoat by the look of it. Cool. And then let's get the guns done on this side. Why don't we get a bit of water on there just to bring it back up. It's almost like wet dry brushing, it feels like. Not quite dry brushing, not quite painting, just picking enough of the colour up to change the overall tone of it. Here we go. And then over onto the harpoon ray. Part of me thinks the harpoon itself should be... Oh, is that a Ricky? Good evening.
Hello, I'll be with you shortly.
No problem. Just give us a shout when you're on and I will switch.
You know you're muted, right?
Luckily, I'm not muted to the stream, just to you. So this thing Mike will have been picking up fine, but yes, well spotted that man.
Okay, I thought, has he been streaming all this time with on mute?
Well, I have, but because it picks up the mic, not the Discord output, then then we are all good. I did have a moment of panic when you said that, though.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do my night, but because I'm in a rush, I'm just gonna pick up where I left off with this thing. So,
Seems
I'm
legit.
not even showing you. I haven't got the camera on.
On with the camera, boy. On with the camera.
I'm gonna carry on with the Plagueburst Crawler. So,
Cool. Let's just dive back into Discord and give us a even showing. There we are. Now they can see us both. Boom.
okay. What do I need? I need brushes. I need water.
Did
I might try this.
your sister
new
have a good
brush today.
birthday?
It was my niece's birthday.
Oh, niece, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. So it's just
Misread the
dropping
text.
in to drop off some gifts and stuff, and I only meant to stop for like 2 minutes, and you get hopped up, especially when kids' birthdays.
Families be families.
Yeah. Like it was my nephew's birthday last week, so I forgot to take cards up. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have popped up there today. What do I need? I need lead belcher, necrotic flesh, some bronze.
All right.
I'll do those first and see if I get to the rest. And what else do I need? I need water. Right. 2 seconds, I'll be back
No
now.
problem. That's what I'll do is turret guns as well. Again, we're just slapdashing this first coat on, just so we can get the right colours to work with. Now let's come back to fancy later. I say slapdashing, it's actually relatively neat for me. Is that your co-host there, Ricky? Oh, you're still not back on the microphone. Sounds like Coco the dog's in the room with him. There we go. One shieldbreaker cannon. No, shieldbreaker missiles. Can't remember what the cannons are called off the top of my head.
Are you coming in here? Are you coming here or are you staying out there? Talking to the dog, sorry.
No worries.
The dog is sitting by my door and looking as if she wants to come in, but
Yeah.
not coming in.
I was
So
like, but it's my job to co-host.
I know she should come in, but yeah.
I'm half expecting my cat to make an appearance. My house is still all over the place because we're in the middle of having works done in our front rooms. We've got all of the front rooms furniture in our dining room as well. So I'm sort of whacked into the corner by the kitchen, and yeah, the cat thinks it's his own personal climbing frame.
So being a taxi driver works sometimes. As someone happened to buy me one of these.
Oh, happy days. Nice.
So I got that to open at some point. I also picked up, I showed off on the stream either last week or the week before. Oh no, we didn't run last week because we were in a meeting, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So what you're building there. I picked up this for quite cheap second hand.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to nurgle this guy up at some point. Probably on stream.
That's
The
awesome.
magnetizing isn't great, so it needs a bit more magnetizing, but I got to work out how to nurgle it up a bit.
Milliputt for the win.
And then I've got 2 Chaos Knights.
Nice.
So then we can all the big things against each other then. So
Sounds like a good plan.
so I'm gonna build nurgle that one up, build the other one, and now we can have like a melee one and a shooty one, I guess. I could magnetize it if I can ask Kieran if he will do that for me, because he's pretty good at doing that
that's
stuff.
his speciality.
Yeah, he's just done all of his dreadnoughts, magnetized, multiple options, and stuff like that. So.
See, I used to do that all the time, and then I realised chances are 95% of the time I'm only going to play a particular variant anyway. So,
and the thing is with it is that I'm normally playing with people who are fine with me going, okay, I know it hasn't got the blah 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 on it, but I'm running it as that, and they're like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks cool to be able to hot swap all the things, but I found bits were forever falling off, or sort of have to move it because you had to move it carefully so you didn't dislodge anything.
So. Okay. Anyone in the chat?
Not seen anyone as yet, so... Although I think your volume must still be on your phone, because I can hear...
Yeah, I just switched it off as I put it on.
But,
there we go.
Yeah, no, it's been fairly quiet this evening. I've just been burbling away to myself.
So, I had internet down this morning, and to be fair, it's like the first proper time that it's been down since I've been working from home. But oh my god, it was...
Did it get you out of much work?
Not really, I just had to catch up then, didn't I? So, yeah, it was... wanted that to be...
No, I was saying earlier on, and also in the Discord, that I've done sort of Pathfinder prep today, and it feels like I've done a full day's work, because I've sat and reread this book so many times, pulling out all the information, so I've got it all to hand rather than having to go dig for things. It's like, right, remind myself of the rules for drowning. Right, remind myself of the rules for this.
Well, we could drown?
Yeah. That's definitely an option now, because I remembered how to do it. I mean, you all bought swim skills for your pirates, right?
Yeah.
I know at least one character that didn't.
Who?
Not saying it'll be fun. It'll be fun to discover in game, but yeah, suffice to say, someone's going to have fun.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I told Chris to put swim down when I was helping Chris build.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't actually matter, because as your characters level up, providing they survive the first level, then they can always reinvest points at later levels if they find the stuff they really wish they could be doing. Like the other thing that occurred to me is that probably quite a few of you didn't take things like Profession Sailor, which
no,
which might, if you're planning a life of piracy, have in hindsight been a good career choice. But we shall see.
So for those that don't know, we have got we're starting to do a RPG. First episode will be on Friday.
Indeed, we're looking at doing that every 2 weeks, and yeah, it'll be purely Discord talky style one. We're not doing Roll20 or anything fancy, but it's going to be fun.
So there might be a dog behind me for a lot of it, if that is something that'll get people to watch it.
I can enable about 5 minutes of enforced Mr. Bond cat stroking before my cat has enough and takes himself off or takes a chunk at me. Or as my kids insist he might even do the Niblo dance, which is something we pioneered over lockdown. It's basically me forcing the poor cat to dance on video calls to my parents, which he's never impressed with. But he's such a dozy old mog. He puts up with it and then just wanders away in a sulk. So I don't subject him to it too often, but he's quite nimble on his front two paws. Just starting to put in some of these silver vents now.
So here's one I did earlier.
The reference model.
Yeah. I think the second one might come out a bit better, but at the same time, I kind of want to make sure I'm hitting the same silver and same bronze bits.
I was encountering similar because I started off the stream earlier on by saying, I've painted a few of these now, so I know roughly where I want in which colours, because I've got sort of this style of knight, I've got the other style of knight, I've got a couple of armigers, and the warlord's got the same basic patterning and armour shape to him. But then as I was going on, I was like, and on the knight, did I do this one this colour? Was that bit this colour? Oh no, I can't remember. So yes, doubting myself and expecting that I'll probably have to recoat a few bits. There we go.
Yeah, so I've made a good start to my cat dog deck for Magic.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm trying to get to it, but someone threw a banner in the works by telling me, like, I've been looking. Originally I was going to be a dog deck, but cats are more supported. Like there's more cats.
Yeah.
So like I relented, and because I've got Rin and Seri, it's like cat dog makes sense. But then someone said, they errated that hounds are also dogs.
Well, that's cool.
So that means it opens up a few more dogs to me. So
sweet. Yeah, I've seen someone in store prior to all this play. I think it was purely a dog-based deck with sort of Rin and Seri as the commander, so like a cat with his coterie of dogs. It's quite a nice little touch. But
yeah, so like me and I had Kieran going through his backlog. Mine is significantly smaller than Kieran's backlog of cards because I haven't really bought that many Magic cards in this grand scheme of things.
I've just discovered I've put one of this guy's targeters on wrong. I'm wondering how well I put it on.
So
not that well, apparently.
So but at that point we were just looking for dogs.
Yeah.
So I should really go back through and look for hounds as well, but whether or not I will is another story.
I'd say if you could find all hound and dogs, you could make it an Elvis deck, couldn't you? Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah, could do. And yeah, the thing that I'm gonna struggle with, I think, is the support cards. So like all your other little bits, because I don't have many, and I won't have like rares and stuff like that to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got a pile of other random bits and bobs. So if you're after anything specific, give us a shout and I can fling you some to have a look at. But yeah, it's some of the stuff like sort of your soul rings and things like that. You might just have to whip out of another deck or.
So I'm gonna strip out some of that from the pre-con, the
Yeah.
one that I said I really don't like,
Yeah.
because that's got like a Sol Ring in it. So, and it'll have some other cards. It's got a Cat Warrior, but legendary one with a partner, so I'm not sure whether or not to put that in.
I mean, what creature types the party? It sort of depends on whether you're going purely thematic or whether you're going.
I don't mind like there's one. There's a dog or hound, which is like one of the other. It's like a samurai's dog,
Yeah.
and it's called like I can't remember the name of it now, but it's called whatever hound, whatever the guy's name, faithful hound or something like
Yeah.
that. So like I was tempted to, because if you put him in, apparently it does a buff, so then it's still a bit thematic. So like the warrior is the partner is a human
Yeah.
that creates human tokens, and you can feed them to the cat to make the cat bigger.
Nice.
So like it does fit theme wise, and it might be a bit stronger than the stuff that I've got in there at the moment. But it's only for casual. I'm never going to be playing a tournament or anything.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, Commander's purely casual anyway. Some people play it a lot harder than other people, but even when we were running quote unquote tournaments in the shop for it, it was only ever sort of casual. In fact, casual one-on-one tournaments, because multiplayer is always just a bit of a different environment.
Yeah, I kind of enjoying it.
We'll have to get another game in at some point. I haven't
Yeah,
played
just,
Super Bowl.
I think we're gonna try and have a game tomorrow. I couldn't quite work out how to make it a Discord only stream last time, because when I was trying to share spell table onto Discord, it was just going black all the time.
Sometimes, yeah, I had that problem when
On the 24
on the
hour
24th.
stream.
Yeah, I think we got around it by doing display share rather than sharing the window.
Yeah, I think I tried to do that, but obviously because I'm the one who was
streaming as well.
I couldn't quite. I guess all I needed was someone to go, okay, it's up, it's looking good.
Yeah.
But when I was going back, obviously it was showing myself then. So like I couldn't get it ready beforehand. But yeah, we're gonna play tomorrow evening, I think. So if you're free,
Yeah, I'm
there's
not
potentially a
100%
space.
sure whether I am. I'll double check because Titch runs his game intermittently on a Thursday. So if that's running, because we're historically short on players for that, because there's not been a week yet that all of us have been able to make it at the same time. Then
It's weird that, isn't it? That we're all stuck at home and everything, but still, you know, there's times where you can't do anything.
I mean, speaking for myself, sometimes those times when I can't do anything, I've just had enough and gone to bed for the day. It's just like, yeah. But
Oh no, I totally get that. It's just like when, like Monday, I was a bit wrecked when we were doing the stream. I think it went pretty well, but especially considering I wasn't feeling great.
yeah, he
But,
seemed pretty cool as well.
Hmm?
He seemed pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he's really cool. We ended up talking to him for ages afterwards as well,
Oh, nice.
just off stream. So, and like it'd be really cool if we could get those guys over, but obviously, it's
When we won the lottery,
priced. Yeah,
I don't think anyone's going to be particularly travelling for shows in the next couple of Proper cycles, are they?
No. With everything kind of taking a backward step at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, that sort of makes me glad that we're looking at next year rather than trying to fit late in the season this year. Because that'll be one more stress we don't really need. But hopefully by the time it's comes round to our time to party, then we should be.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. We might actually have some viewers in there now. Hello, if you're watching. Do say hi in the chat and tell us you're there and tell us what you're painting, what you'd like to see us painting. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Do the talking to us. I mean, if any of you want to subscribe or follow or do those sort of things, we've actually set up some fancy stream alerts on the channel as well. So in theory, they will all pop up if you do that. So go on, press the button, do the thing.
And we will say your name too.
High praise indeed, Ricky. High praise indeed.
I don't know. It might be something that someone wants. One of your Welsh guy. Say a name. If they're from abroad, maybe they like, ooh, I wonder how my name sounds in Welsh. Sounds the same, just with my accent. I really need to get a better light for by you.
Yeah, it's still looking.
Oh, it looks fine for the stream, but it's
for actual usability, not so great, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, actual usability isn't.
I'm
brilliant.
quite happy with one what I've picked up, so just see. Can't even see who makes mine. Probably means it's cheap, but it's just an LED desk lamp. Yeah, don't think mine was more than 20 quid or so. It does the.
Mine is one of those old-fashioned ones, like in the Pixar starter.
Oh right, well yeah, sort of sets you on fire. Yeah, you definitely need a new one.
Yeah, so it's always quite warm on this desk, hence why I had to get the wet palette. Because it's not because I'm doing any fancy mixing of paints. I can't do that stuff.
Just to keep them liquid while you're actually painting.
Yeah. So this tank is slightly different to this tank. Can you see why? I know it's not in focus, but...
Oh, your shield is slightly differently placed. And you've got the shell coming out.
No, that is a Nurglin.
Oh, no, cool.
So Kieran put a Nurglin into the barrel, and there's two Nurglins on the armor as well. One's holding a grenade.
Nice.
So, it's a really cool idea. I like that he done it.
Yeah.
The only issue I've got with it is the Nurglin that he put in the cannon is the one I basically bought the Marine specifically for.
Oh no!
It's the champion.
Yeah.
That comes in the blister pack with the sassy Nurglin.
Yeah.
And now you can't even see that he's sassy because
he's stuffed in a barrel.
Yeah.
How did he fix him in? Is it something you can pull back out and? Because if you only
it was plastic. No, it was plastic glue.
Doomed.
Yeah, it's fine. But if you've got any spare Nurglings, I will happily find them homes.
Yeah, I was going to say, sadly not for me, because I cleared out all of my chaosy bits when I sold you the army originally. So, but yeah, if any of the viewers have Nurglings looking for homes, I'm sure Ricky will take donations. Just drop them down the shop and I'll see them to him.
I'm gonna have to check a few onto that that night that I'm gonna Nurgle up.
Yeah, I mean the other option is sort of green stuff, Milliput, sort of boils and pustules and things like that.
I've got plenty of bits as well.
Guts and things coming out of it.
The orc player in me has trained me well for keeping things like that.
Yes.
So I've got all the extra bits from the Great Unclean One.
Yep.
Because you get the bits that you can make him as Rotigus instead. So I think I've got some guts that I can put on there somehow. I got to work out how to do it all in my mind, but
it'll be fun in the doing of, though.
Yes. And at the end of the day, it's mine. That's why I bought a second-hand one, because I got it for quite cheap, so that I can experiment with kit bashing. Because I wanted to Nurgle up the one I bought, the actual one I bought that's new in box.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't wanna ruin
Yes.
like an £80 model.
It's a scary proposition, isn't it? Taking the sword to something that you've just paid good money for.
I don't know how you did it with, like, how many Bane Blades were in there?
I only used 2 in the end. I'd originally planned for up to 4, but that quickly became impractical just for size reasons. So I sort of settled on 2 as being a good compromise. But yeah, that was I was like, well, one cut goes wrong and that's 85 odd quid wasted. And yeah, I had to do some fairly substantial cuts on the side armour to get it all to... Oh, I keep putting my thumb right across his cable that I've just painted.
I forever do that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having a go at doing that sort of thing. And then maybe I'll try and do something more with, like, some orc stuff then. Because I've got so much orcs.
It might be worth having a look around for some tutorial videos as well, because chances are someone's done a good sort of how to make a pustule, how to make this, that and the other. And even if you don't use their technique exactly, you might just get a few inspirations on sort of which way to go with it. Just putting in all the cable.
I almost got caught out. Oh, well, you almost ended up having some more of my money. I was watching videos earlier of someone playing the 3rd edition starter box, I guess, for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's like orcs, and it's like, should
is that
the
new Dominion that goes on pre-order on Saturday? Is that Dominion that goes pre-order on Saturday?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Do I need orcs?
Need is a strong word, but yeah, it's I think that one's going to be pretty popular. we're getting something like 30 copies in, and we've got loads of people asking whether they can pre-order it already, to which the answer unfortunately is no until GW say we can. But yeah, I think it's going to sell quite quickly like the Indomitus set. So,
Do you think that people are buying it for the Stormcast or the Orcs?
little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I mean, there must be enough Stormcast players around that people want some fancy new ones, but equally Orcs are a popular choice, so that could be the thing for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that I guess if the fancy strikes you, and the one thing I don't think people will be buying it for is to get into the hobby, which is a shame, because that's sort of what it looks like, is a really good 2-player start box. But most people will be picking up who are already playing and who are planning to keep one half and try and make most of the cost of the box back on the other half on eBay. That's
Yeah.
not actually got enough. Please let me have some of that back left.
If it is as popular as Indominus, hopefully they'll sort something out so that you don't get all the scalping.
Yeah, well, they did a restock wave for Indomitus.
I know, and they did the pre-order thing first, didn't they? And then they went, you know what, we're just going to send loads out.
Well,
reissue loads.
Yes, no. So with the sort of the restock wave for Indomitus, they made stores like us. We had to pre-order them within that window as well. So we were committed to getting however many extra copies 6 months down the line for them actually turning up.
Yeah.
So if they do that again, I might be a bit more cautious, because we ended up sat on a lot of Indomitus the second time round, and it's only within the last month or so that we've actually cleared our backlog of those. So yeah, that'll be a sort of a learning experience for this time around.
Hopefully they have learned from it as well.
Yeah, I mean, they learn from it and just make more of the boxes. But yeah, it seems like most places in the country that are retailers have been capped at 30 copies initially, with the chance for some more. Our pockets weren't deep enough to go more than 30 anyway, so we thought, actually, you know what, we'll just take the 30 and see what comes. But I know some of the bigger outfits might have got their hands on a few, but it was sort of 30 was the maximum initial order, whoever you were, and then you could put in for however many extra you wanted, and we would have been told in fact we would have got told tomorrow if we'd been successful in getting any of those extras. But I think there'll be a lot of larger online stores and bigger retailers that'll not be getting many more than 30 either.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a year, haven't they, with they're getting the order in right.
Well, from their point of view, they are getting it right, because they're selling out each time, which means they've made their money on it, which is fairly hard logic to argue with. I mean, they could make masses more, but then be sat on it, and it's, from their point of view, it's almost better to leave people wanting, see if there's demand for a second wave, and then print a carefully done second wave, than there is to massively overprint it, it'd be a flop, and then you'd be sat on a big pile of stuff. So I sort of get why they're doing it, but it does also feed the internet feeding frenzy.
Yeah, and like that Cursed City one wasn't exactly good press, them going that way, was it?
No. Although again, I get what they did, because the previous Cursed City, not Cursed City, the previous Warhammer Quest, so the Quest 2 Hammerhall one, I think it was. I don't know, it was a pig for us. We bought like 10 copies based on the strength of the first one, sold precisely 1 or 2 in 2 years, and ended up trading the most into another store as like a stock exchange because they had more stuff. They had different stuff that we wanted. They thought they could sell it up their end. So if results were as mixed for GW as they were for individual stores, I can sort of see why they didn't bother doing a second run of that, or maybe we'll do another run later, but yeah, I think they're aiming at getting it just right, if you know what I mean, and just about selling out with just enough people left hungry for it. But
and then you've got new boys come in.
Yep.
So it's that thing with them. Do you reckon they're going to be more in line with like Space Marines, price wise?
As in miniature cost or points cost?
Miniature cost. Because like most things now are like about 30 for the infantry, and they.
Yeah, I can. I mean, they haven't gone out of their way to standardise their prices over the last couple of years. So they're sort of far removed from their days of sort of having price band A, price band B for stuff. But sort of as sure as eggs, things are going to get more expensive slowly but surely. So yeah, I can't see them putting out troop units at 20 quid a box anymore.
It's a shame. I am going to probably get some. I don't really need them as it stands now. And like, especially with that beast snaggers, I'll be up to my eyeballs in orcs to paint anyway, so...
I mean, at least they're a different troops unit, so you can... Sort of
can justify it a bit more.
Well, go mostly boys and then a few units of the new string.
But the new boys themselves, I'm probably going to want some just to have some in the army, but I don't really need... Like, I might be able to get away with just having, like, a box of 10 and then doing 5 of them as shooters, 5 of them as choppers, just to chuck them in so that I've got different sculpts in there, but I don't particularly need them, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I rather suspect it's, as I think we've discussed before, it's the start of a scale creep, sort of like the way tacticals are slowly phasing out Primaris. Sorry, Primaris phasing out tacticals even. I sort of suspect it's going to be the same for the new, bigger, better boys.
I don't mind.
I mean, that's the thing. The people we both play with aren't going to mind if you go, right, do you know what, all of my boys are these for this game, because I'm not buying 300 new models straight off the bat. Just while you test it out and see whether it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many cables on this guy. Like, every time I think I've found all of his cables. Some more sneak up.
Yeah, like I like that I've got some... Well, one of the guys who goes to your shop give me a load of second edition orcs as well. So I've got a mix of boys and grots as it is at the moment.
Yeah.
So just to have the sculpt rather than needing them is kind of what I fancy them for.
I suppose you could liberally strew them between the units, so you've got a mixture of all 3 in each unit.
Yeah.
That might actually come out sort of looking alright, sort of just not all boys are created equal.
No, some of them have lasted a couple of... Are they bigger because they've...
fought in more battles.
They're bigger because they've been in more battles.
And you need some weedy runts to be the bullet catchers.
Yep. I got another thing to put out a call for. If anyone listening has a Plagueburst Crawler and has any of the guns spare, feel free to send them to me too. Because I didn't put them on here because I was going to magnetize them.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I've put the guns now.
Oh, they'll be in the house somewhere, though, surely.
Oh, yeah. They're probably in my bits box, actually. I was originally going to put the spitters on it. And in the current edition, the spitters aren't exactly the favourite choice. Not that matters to me, but
yeah, it might be nice to have one of each.
Yeah.
Load out. Any more cables?
It's because it's more of a shooty game now.
Yeah.
These things have got these ones that are on here have got range, whereas the spitters are just flamers. So that's why they're not the favoured choice anymore.
Yeah, but battlefield sizes got smaller in theory.
I mean, oh yeah, I don't. I it's not as if if they were spitters and I went, oh, both of them have got rot hail cannons. Anyone that I play with is going to go, no, that's a spitter.
No, I was just thinking because when I was building one of the Bane blades that I got and then never used for the Leviathan, so I built it as a Doom hammer because I wanted to build some variants that don't normally see the table, and I was like, right, what don't you normally see in a Bane blade style build? Doom hammers, that's for one, and then 4 sponsons, that's another, and then flamers on the sponsons. So I've got one, it basically looks like a tortoise because it's got sort of legs and arms, stubby legs and arms sticking out of him with the 4 sponsons, and he's basically just got to roll up the table and disgorge some troops and try and burn face. Which make him horrendously impractical, but he'll be hilarious to run. That's what I'm telling myself anyway.
Well, I look forward to it coming at me when we manage to get a game in.
There we go, that's the silver and the black starting to take shape.
Hey, any more silver to pick out?
Smaller brush required. Oh, there we are. Greg's just said hello. So today I'm working on a knight, as you can probably see, and Ricky's doing his Plagueburst Crawler.
This one.
Indeed. What about you, Greg? What's cracking for you at the moment? What's cracking? I've sort of headed into 80s American slang. What's going on with me? What's shaking, fool? Be off to the disco now before you know it.
So,
speaking of finding things, I've got to work out what I've done with the tissue paper that I coated the Overlord airship with, because I mentioned before I've stuck a tear in it by mistake, and I've still got the hardening fluid, but the grey tissue that I used to make the envelope, I've got no idea where I've put it. So I should really find that at some point soon.
Probably with my guns.
Yeah.
In the Home for Lost Warhammer.
Greg says no time for any projects at the moment. Boo, they're working you too hard.
Young baby too.
That as well. Yep, that'll do it. Alright, on with some of the gold. Oh. Yeah, I was looking. I feel the back stiffening up already.
I wake up with that these days. It's not moving from this bloody chair.
Yep, probably doesn't help. You need to get your work to pay for some yoga or something.
Well, one of the bosses in my work is a yoga instructor, and she does do some sessions. I haven't signed up for it though, because I don't particularly want to be on camera. And we done an away day once where they give us, like, it was about mindfulness and stuff like that. And that's the theme. So they did like meditation and yoga and stuff like that during the day, and it was really cool. But I walked into the yoga room. I walked into the yoga room, and the only mats that were left were right on the front, and it's like, nope, I am not putting my fat ass up in the air in front of like 30 odd colleagues. But then I went to the back of the room and shared a mat with someone, because it was like, yeah, I am not going down the front in a yoga lesson.
Oh, no, see, you could have taken the chance to rip a fart at your colleagues.
One of the guys did do that, and that was like one of the reasons. One of the guys did do that, and everyone laughing and talking about them at the back of the room. And it's like, nope, I don't want that to be me. Greg said as soon as he puts him to sleep and sit down to paint, he's awake. He does sleep fine sitting on me, strangely though.
Yeah, my two were both like that. So we did the baby wearing in slings and things, and I'd actually sit with Erin tied to the front of me and painting past her, which was quite nice. Just had to make sure not to drop any paint on her head or to wipe it off before the wife saw.
Before your wife noticed.
It's actually surprising what you can do with a kid tied to the front of you.
So there's a web comic called Strange Planet. I don't know if you've seen it, by Nathan W. Pyle.
I haven't, but I do like a good webcomic.
So it's about these literal aliens kind of thing. So,
right. I think I have actually, the two blue aliens, and they odd takes on human things.
Yeah, so they call football or kicking the orb and stuff, and only one being's allowed to use their hand on the orb. Who's that? The orb catcher, and all of these sorts of things. But they've got one about the baby in one of those slings in front of you, or backwards backpack.
Yeah,
and he's trying to bring in the shopping from the car, and he's like, I need more limbs. And the other one turns around to him and goes, we made more limbs. Alas, they aren't strong enough to help yet, though. And it just, anyone that says about those things,
the
carriers, they always think of that now.
Nice.
So I was going to be painting night as well, because me and Simon had mentioned doing nights, but I would be building mine. And then I was a bit late to this evening because of kids. Not my kids, but my sister's. So I ended up just picking this up because I started ages ago. So I thought I'd better get a little bit more. It's starting to look a bit better already. It's almost
good. I'm actually surprised with how much I've got done on this one this evening. It's obviously, as usual with my stuff, it needs a few more coats, but in terms of blocking it all in, I've got everything by the gold and the parchment in place.
like, I'm not a good painter, but if anyone did ever ask me for advice, what would you advice for painting be? And it'd be paint orcs and death guard. And the reason, because if you mess up, it kind of looks as if you're supposed to be. With death guard, oh, I messed that bit up. Oh, let me just get the Nurgle's rot out.
That's null oil for most other armies, isn't it? Put enough null oil on it, it would look like it was meant to happen.
The orcs, it's like, oh yeah, they were just a bit sloppy with their paint when they were painting their buggy. It's all good. I don't think an orc would be really, really good at painting. I think lead belcher is the colour, despite all my armies being green of some kind, lead belcher is probably the colour I've painted the most.
I think gold is probably mine. Although lead belcher I use for pretty much every weapon system. Gold trim.
I do, with my orcs, it's all vehicle based, isn't it? So it's like all the arms and stuff is lead belcher, the legs, and then picking out bits to make other metals. So yeah, it's a lot of lead belcher that goes on to all of these bloody things. I was talking to Kieran the other day about things like, I don't really need any more orcs, but I don't have a stomper, and even though I don't know when I would play a stomper, kind of want a stomper. And I've got a Gorkanaut, so I kind of want a Morkanaut, even though I could field it as both.
There's always a thing you want more of, though, isn't there? So
Yeah.
I think with orcs the main trick is knowing when to stop with boys.
Yeah.
Cause,
I still look if someone lists boys.
like, oh, maybe another 70 of those.
Yeah, it's like, price is good, but I think I'm good on boys. No, I do honestly think I've got to that point where it's like, yeah, I could.
But crazy big games, you're never going to put all of them on the table at the same time anyway.
No, and that's it. And that's the other thing. I've never run all of them, I don't think. And I like I've said throughout everything that we do, I don't really play these things for competitive reasons. So I'm never going to be chasing, like, I know, like, at one point, like, 90 Boys was very meta, but I don't care. I bought all the buggies, and some of those aren't very good, but I like putting them on the field because it's thematic.
Yeah. At one point, in an older edition of Apocalypse, 100 orcs plus a war bus was a formation. So I think a lot of people's overreach on boys stems back from those days as well. They're just like, I've got to make the Green Tide formation.
Like, one blob and 30 boys is probably about enough, because then you can at least do Unstoppable Green Tide. But yeah, I like having the option to run them if I wanted to.
Yeah. And when we do get round to playing that silly big game, that many boys will be useful.
Yeah.
As target practice.
That's the thing. If we play big things, my Death Guard army's probably better for that. Because, mind you, I've probably got about 4,000 points worth of boys, I reckon. Not boys, orcs.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot of bodies on the board. Whether or not it'd be any good against all of that big stuff.
Well, sorry, just 2 seconds. I'll have a quick thing, because I stuck a list together because I was talking with Andy Arnold and Dougie about playing a silly big game at some point, and I stuck together a list of big stuff. So if I just ran Imperial Guard and Space Marines, what did we get to? So tanks and vehicles only, with the exception of 3 units of Terminators and I'm sure there was something else. No, that was it. Yeah, 3 units of Terminators and a couple of Marine characters just to go in the stuff. We came in at 16,500 points.
Okay, so I was thinking if we did play with the big things, what I would try and do is try and get these 2 knights ready. So then I'd have 2 Chaos Knights. I've got 2 Soul Grinders, a Great Unclean one, Mortarion, Be'lakor. It'd be just a random hodgepodge of chaos
big stuff.
And then, and I've got a Defiler. I'm looking around now, looking for big things that I could actually put. So, like, yeah, that would probably be my best bet for it. Is just go with all the big stuff, and then a couple of Nurglings to capture objectives.
Nice. Yeah, and plan for about two days for the game.
Yeah. Or 1 turn of you shooting.
Or vice versa, because quite often with games like that, it is just that first salvo does stuff. But,
I watched someone playing an Apocalypse game.
Yeah.
And, like, I did like that you'd leave everything on the board until the end of both players for activation.
Yeah.
So, like, you build up the damage, and then at the end of turn 1, you
All the
then
stuff
go
that-
to...
Yeah.
Because it makes more sense. It's nothing worse than putting something down and knowing that it's supposed to simulate like real time. I know you've got to have turns for the thing, but those things don't even get to shoot because they've just sat there waiting.
Yeah.
You know what? You'd just be shooting in the general direction. Like,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
quite a nice work for it, isn't it? Everyone takes their turn, and then you resolve all the casualties at the end, like a one mass casualty phase. I mean, the other way to do it is alternating activations. So one person activates a unit, the other person so you I think I might have suggested before for how to do a multiplayer game without crippling one player.
Yeah, I think you got us to do that when me, Kieran, and Kieran played in the shop. And it did work much better than... Because, like, I think the first time Kieran Jenkins played, we played normal, and he didn't like it because... You know, if you play, especially multiplayer games, you're sat there for, like, an hour without doing anything.
Yeah, whereas multi-activations is probably the way to go for bigger games as well, because that way you are going to lose stuff before it gets time to fire, but so is everyone else. Have we lost your sound, Ricky? Or?
Oh, no, I wasn't talking. I was listening and concentrating. Concentration
face on.
Yeah. No, it was just, it's like, oh, I'm getting close to some bits that I've already painted by her. I can't just splash the paint. But, yeah, that, I do like that for bigger games or multiplayer games, because you easily end up in a 2-on-1 situation, especially if, like, if the first person attacks the the person who's going to go third, the second person then feels bad for the person going third, so then they'll probably attack the first person, and then the third person's like, you attacked me, so I'm going to attack you.
Yeah,
and then
player one gets wiped.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, it totally makes more sense, especially on multiplayer and bigger games. And if you're playing a massive game, could you imagine if, like, you put your Titan down, your Warlord Titan down, and then just spray everything in them, and on the off chance that you manage to deal, like, 900 wounds or whatever it is.
70, but yes. And then he explodes and takes out half my lines as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's having fun there?
The other
Are
player.
you having fun yet? I just playing Sam the other day. Hey Mark, how are you? Playing Sam the other day just got my taste back for it. I just want more games.
Fired up your hobby, Keen.
Yeah, it's like I've been painting all year. I need to put them on the table. I think at some point we might be doing barbecue hammer.
That could be cool. Gazebo hammer. I mean, it's easier than card games because the models don't blow away.
Rots, mate.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, some of the boys got an X-Wing game in. I saw on Facebook.
Yeah. I saw Miles did ask me if I'd fancy going around to play Warhammer as well. So I've got games possibly lined up. I saw them playing X-Wing, and it was like, oh, I want to play with friends.
With actual people.
I know, like, I was late picking Kieran up earlier because I was picking up that night from Nick, and it's like human interaction with people outside my house.
Yes, please, I'll take 2.
Yeah.
So, Mark, we don't play at 40k in the shop at the moment. We've used it for a couple of filming things, but because of where the rules were at on social distancing, we've only sort of been able to do it as sort of part of convention filming rather than reopening the gaming spaces, because it's quite sort of a lot of work for what you have to do to be compliant in the eyes of Swansea licensing to actually get the shop gaming rooms back open, which is why we're waiting until social distancing goes away before we do.
And, like, in that period when you did open last year...
Oh, yeah, in November last year.
Yeah, as much fun as it was to play, it was at the same time a bit... Like I said, when me and John played, because of the rules about touching the scenery, we just ended up playing as if there was no scenery on the table. Because it was like, it didn't want to make an issue for anyone, didn't want to make more work, and it was like, yeah, I've got orcs, you've got space wolves, they just want to go and punch each other in the face anyway. We're just...
Covers for wusses.
Yeah, covers for like Codex compliant Marines, because we were playing 8th edition, I think. Before the Space Wolves had been ruled in.
Cool. How are you finding work, Mark? Good to be back.
Is it quiet in the office without Adam? We're gonna try and so the test game that me and Sam did kind of worked, and people seem to enjoy it. We are gonna try and do it again, and we just gotta work out the setup, because we realised after we finished that everything on our board was on the opposite side of the camera. So we will do it again.
I mean, Mark, if you go back onto our YouTube channel, we've got the 500-point game that me and Ricky played during the 24-hour stream. That's up there. I don't know if yours and Sam's game is uploaded yet, Ricky? Or is that still on the editing floor?
Oh, no, I think... yeah, I did put it up, I think. Yeah, bear with me a second, I will check. Because I think I did, because I had to edit it to put it up on Twitch, didn't I?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you must have had it, because you didn't live broadcast it, you recorded and then...
yeah, it is on... It is... That's me talking. Okay, I'll check the link to me and Sam, and then from there you can find our page.
And pick up the other game as well.
What I can see happening a bit quicker than another 40k game. Not that I'd love to. I'd love to do another 40k game, but I could see something like Blood Bowl happening sooner, because it's a bit easier to set up. It could be one top-down camera.
Yeah.
One top-down camera, so it just would be a little bit easier to manage. So, maybe we should... Like, I've been umming and ahhing for ages about getting Underworlds as well.
Oh, okay. Hang fire on that, because I've got a copy of, I think, the Diachasm set. That's sort of going begging. So if we're going to think about streaming that, then I'll dig that out. I think the store's got a copy of Night Vault and the original Shadespire as well, so we've got enough stuff to pick it up straight away.
And that sort of thing will be a lot easier for us to do because it is simply one top-down camera and you can see everything you need to see. So that sort of thing is probably going to be more simple.
And watch friendly as well, yeah.
Yeah, like the issue when me and Sam played as well, I think we realised that we could do with a producer, someone with a hand cam.
Yeah, or multiple cameras stationed and set, and someone cutting between as appropriate. But
and like the multiple cameras linked to the OBS as we streaming, so that they could cut between the two cameras, maybe a dice cam and stuff like that, so you could see what people are rolling as well. But that would bring, well, we haven't got the equipment for that, and it would also become a bit more well, you need an extra person basically, but just the two of us doing it.
Just the two. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Just the two of us doing it was a bit was fine. It was fine on the day, worked well and everything. It was a bit labour intensive to find, like, and I only did a couple of hand cam shots, but to find the point where they needed to go, and then edit them into it.
I mean, at the end of the day as well, we are still learning, very much amateurs, and getting by on it, but definitely something to consider though for future ones. I think I might have to call it short because my back is seizing quite nicely here. I've got a good chunk of the gold. That's how he's looking so far. That's speaking of hand cams, let's bring him down for a closer look. Nope. Stupid back to front.
He's
camera.
looking cool.
He's getting there. This gold is looking slightly brighter than the gold I normally use. Does that work better? The lights. There we are. But
something I learned about the gold when I was doing, I can't remember what I was painting. Blood Bowl maybe? But apparently, the Gulliman's Flesh contrast.
Yeah.
It's a really good wash to go over the Retributor Armor Gold.
Okay, cool. I've normally used Seraphim Sepia, but I'd normally paint the gold on these in Balthazar Gold and then bring it up. And I didn't have any Balthazar Gold with me, so I've just started straight in on the Army Painter Greedy Gold, which I'd probably normally use as a highlight. No, I'm not familiar with that one, Mark. Sorry, Lutin09 on YouTube. What do they do?
I think I've seen them. They do lore videos, maybe. I think I have watched a few lore videos on there.
By the way, yeah, Mark's confirming that.
Yeah, I think I especially when I was new to the hobby and wanted to learn a bit more about the armies and stuff. Which armies that I didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's something we can always have a look at if that's what people want to see. But yeah, I don't know. It's the trouble with the internet, isn't it? Is we've got so many people out there doing great content. It's tricky to know sort of where to pitch what we're doing, without sort of reinventing the wheel each time.
And that's it. There are people who do the content for battle reports and stuff. I think what we could do, our pitch for it would be that it's a casual game. It's not competitive and stuff, because I think a lot of the ones that do it currently are more aimed at showing off what an army could do competitively.
Yeah, tournament player style.
Yeah, so like that would be where we are, because I'm not very competitive when it comes to, well, I don't build competitive lists. I can be competitive. If I'm playing a game, I do I do play to win.
But you don't build to smash necessarily.
It's like me and Kieran built those lists that we told you about. Like he had all Fenrisian wolves, and I had all grots.
Yeah,
and that's not competitive at all. But I'd still be trying to win.
Yes.
If you're playing a a game, like if it's a co-op game, is fine. Then you don't have to be playing to win. But if you're playing a game that's got a point system that gets you to a win or a lose,
yeah,
you should be playing to win.
Or in a completely, slightly unrelated but related note, I caved and opened a store copy of the Red Alert Space Fleet Battles board game war game yesterday. It's been staring at me on the shelf for about 9 months since we got it in, and it's based on a game I've played previously and I really enjoyed. And sort of we've still got quite a few of them left. I think we sold 3 of the 12 bundles we bought. And I was like, oh, they're going a bit slowly. How can I make these go faster? Oh, what if I open a copy for myself and lay it out to show everyone all the fine things you get in it? Mwahaha. Totally just thinking to myself, no, I'm going to play that when lockdown is gone. So we'll have to get a game into that at some point. I don't know whether that would be particularly streamable because the battle map is nearly 3x3 for that, even though it's technically a hex-based war game. But yeah, it could be fun for something different and a nod to our board game viewers as well.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. I'm always up for like trying something new.
But yeah, no, it's I don't know if you saw it when you picked Kieran up earlier on. It's laid out in the sort of the front of the shop.
I didn't make it to the shop. I picked him up by 10 pin because I was talking to Nick for too long.
All good. Right. We should probably.
I'm in on Friday.
Cool. I was thinking we should probably do some announcements and sort of trail out what's coming up this week and next, if we know those. So on Friday we've got the roleplay stream. That's kicking off at 8 p.m. if you want to come and see some Pathfinder RPG piratey shenanigans. I'll be running that, and we'll have Ricky, Adam, Sam and Chris joining us to play. Should be good for a giggle. Do we know who or if we have a Monday interview at the moment, Ricky?
We do. We have a Monday interview with Justin Castaneda, or Castaneda, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, who's at When You Were Little on Instagram. He's a great comic book and children's illustrated books artist. Check out his stuff, and we're going to be chatting with him, and he's from Chicago, so it's going to be our second American guest in a row. Then we've got Hobby Stream next Wednesday, and I can even push out to the Monday after that, where we've got the Ranger of Krieg. He's a cosplayer and a miniature painter, so we've got quite a schedule ahead of us. So and then I might chuck in some random Pokemon in there somewhere.
It's almost like you're planning this, Ricky. We've also got some irons in the fire for some other wargaming and roleplay guests. So watch this space. As soon as we get confirmations on those, we'll shout about those in future streams. But yeah, for now that just leaves us to say thank you for watching, and we'll see those of you that are interested on Friday, or if not, same time next week.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But most of all, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, do that for us if you wouldn't mind, and share it so that we can have YouTube/SCGC rather than YouTube/ all the numbers and letters. So that'd be cool. But until Friday, goodbye.
Goodbye.